In Mueller We Trust. Not. You want to puke up your chicken wrap for lunch? Washington Post and the New York Times shared the Pulitzer Prize in 2018 for Russia Gate reporting. At the same time, Stephen King can't even distinguish between fiction and batshit crazy anymore. Michelle Obama calls. Chicago prosecutor answers. What now, Michelle? Michelle says, just give Jussie a slap on the wrist. He likes that. Chicago prosecutor replies, Chicago PD will be pissed. Michelle says, look, Barack needs a win today badly. Ha! Michelle Obama calls again. Chicago prosecutor, yes, Michelle. Michelle says, friendly reminder, clear Jussie of all charges. He's too precious for prison. Chicago prosecutor replies, he almost triggered a civil war. Michelle says, Jussie was just accelerating what we put in motion already. Dear resistors, watch Rocky IV today over a kick-ass American IPA and come to peace with POTUS being on America's side. He pardoned Black Pride incarnate Jack Johnson, for Christ's sake. It was Stallone's idea. Miles Davis dedicated an album to him. Forget it. Daycare, this morning, Miss Diane, is Arthur feeling better? This is me, stay-at-home comedian. He still looked great as he puked out a waterfall of salmon chatter. Even the puke had a rainbow glint to it. It looked like he was puking a Capri Sun commercial. Daycare, moments later, stay-at-home comedian, addressing the security guard at school. Son asked me this morning, did you run in the treadmill yet? I said, I got food poisoning last night with you. Remember? He says, stop making excuses, slacker. You're worse than Hillary. Security guard laughs a long time. And then stating, I like that one. My son picks out Q for a letter for today for us to learn words from. I start with QAnon. Proof, conspiracy theories come true. Although Jussie Smollett being released today is wearing off my buzz, I must admit. Good friend from college texts, Trump is clear of all charges. You must be stoked. I reply, I am. My parents and in-laws, not so much. Good friend from high school texts, check out Dirt on Netflix. I say, I'm writing a parody of the movie called Hillary's Down with the Devil. Other titles I'm considering are Death Stares That Kill, Homa Homa Homa, and Time for Gitmo. Can I get a holla for some holla? Motley Crue Nation. Interior, Four Seasons Suite, Bob Mueller. Nancy, otherwise known as Nancy Denture Breath Pelosi. That's who I'm talking about. Again, Bob Mueller, Four Seasons Suite. Nancy, you better tell your media peeps you won't be pursuing impeachment. Nancy Denture Breath Pelosi replies, fine, we'll just tell Brennan he received bad information and our intelligence agents suck at bullshit detection. New York Times apologizing to its readers again. You wanted the Russian collusion fairy tale to come true. You wanted to think your degenerate, dependent, and drug addict children were superior to Trump's children. Wrong again. Sorry. Over 60 rockets fired from Gaza into Israel despite ceasefire. Rashida Tlaib just creamed herself prematurely. Today, she might be less on edge and only scream for impeachment every other breath. Rashida Tlaib still calls for impeaching President Trump. At what point can we blame her nonstop presidential harassment on her archaic, older-than-Yiddish, Sharia law-rooted policy toward non-converting infidels? Just curious. Can I get another holla for some holla? Friend from high school texts. You gotta check out Dirt on Netflix. I reply, Jared Kushner talked Trump at a Motley Crue, playing at his inauguration, claiming Tommy Lee looked too alt-right for it. Translation, my Hebrew hammer can't compete, Dad. Hold on, audience. This is my wife, and I want to prove to her that I'm responsive. Hello, babe? Hey, you're on the podcast again. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks. I thought you'd be done by left the house for a long time and you're still not done?
Okay, well, I did a lot of other productive work, like applying for a talent booker job at the Paley Media Center in Manhattan. Just to prove to my
Nice.
listeners, I'm not a full-blown slacker that wants to be a dependent, bitchy underling the rest of my life.
Well, I just called to tell you get some fish fillets because they're like 2 for $5 right now, and we love them. So you have a fish fillet.
USA.
Come in like 15 minutes.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll be done by then.
Okay, love you.
I love you guys. Bye. My adoring family. I think my wife got a little uncomfortable there with the dependent bitchy underling line, but it's a funny line, so she has to get over it. So, as I was saying, so again, friend from high school text, check out Dirt on Netflix. I reply, Jared Kushner talked Trump out of Motley Crue, playing his inauguration, claiming Tommy Lee looked too all right for it. Translation, my Hebrew hammer can't compete, Dad. Ha! It's me at home, stay-at-home comedian. This is me having a heart-to-heart with my son before daycare today, before I drop him off. I say, Arthur, always use condoms no matter what. Son says, how many condoms come in a box? And I say, 0 if you're Sean Kemp or Larry Johnson. Can I get a holla for some holla, Gen X? What Gen X parents understand. So this is an extension of the always use condoms conversation with my son. I'm not going to mention his age. I don't want child services swooping into me just yet. But as far as I'm concerned, we can't have this conversation early enough. Son. And my son's gorgeous. So he needs to have this talk. Here we go. Son. This is my son asking me, Daddy, so how many condoms come in a box? And I said, if I was a real player who took my own advice, who wasn't such a lush in my 20s, I know, kid. Ah! Americans broken for learning Trump is innocent from charges of being Putin's hired puppet, despite POTUS arming the Ukraine and sanctioning Russia and showing Syria and ISIS who's boss. I'd move out of your parents' house immediately. Baby boomer arrogance never dies. I'll even offer to rent out my garage. Not happening. Interesting fact. Kids in Tokyo ride the subway as early as first grade. So the sicko Japanese pedophile suit in Kill Bill was tortured by the same knee-high sock Japanese girl on his daily commute for 17 years straight and finally cracked? I love that joke. Utah passed a free-range parenting law. Fresh off the press. Aren't you guys blessed? Utah passed a free-range parenting law, exempting parents from accusations of neglect if they let their children play or commute unattended. How else will Big Love squeeze in time to make his 6 wives happy? Long time! New York Times reports, mothers who juggle jobs outside the home spend just as much time tending to their children as stay-at-home mothers did in the 1970s. So all these 70s housewives slept on the job, on Quaaludes, haunted by images of Cosby's family-friendly sweaters? Can I get another holla for some holla? Unibrow Maddow refuses to accept Barr's judgment without the full release of the Mueller report. Neither do your sad sack loser viewers. So at least you share this in common with your deplorable dunce hat demographic. Interior, Newark penthouse party pad for good old Cory Booker. Cory Booker, here we go. I'm Cory Booker. Pretend I'm Cory Booker. I'm not willing to drop the collusion hoax, Rosario. Rosario Dawes, no main squeeze, love of his life, replies, Rotten Tomato critics said I should give up acting after Alexander, and look where it led me to now. Elizabeth Warren doesn't trust Barr's judgment. Take some peyote to develop your powers of introspection. I'm sure your 1% Native American blood will reveal itself in the form of a truth chakra crystal, which reveals all, babe. Ah! All this Russian collusion BS starts with Obama, because Trump had the balls to question the snake's true origins, because his social security card is from Connecticut. Clips of Obama speaking perfect Farsi, a nuke gifting Iran, don't help his case. Ah! I didn't know Rahm Emanuel made speeches anymore. He left Obama way before the rise of ISIS and FISA-gate began. His brother is Trump's agent. He must know the shit is about to hit the fan. Start draining, POTUS. Godspeed. Jussie Smollett was cleared of all charges. Too bad you can't make the same claim for the mainstream media's incessant lying and smearing of President Trump, because the news cycle of his historical accomplishments continues to be too much to bear. With charges dropped, Jussie Smollett vows to fight for justice and equality, unless it involves any crime involving any other instigator of a fake news hate crime, further fueling ramification-free, unchecked violence against racist MAGA hats because the New York Times decrees them so. New York Times, apologizing to its readers again. You wanted the Russian collusion story to be true. It's not our fault the basis of a 2-year criminal investigation was based on Facebook ads, golden shower rumors, and crap English spy excerpts. Hannity radio show. Hannity. Did Christopher Steele ghostwrite Obama's books in addition to the Russian collusion dossier? FISA court judge. I don't think, Hannity says, but Steele had zero problem disguising hit job fiction as truth for the highest bidder. Slick. Can I get a holla? For some holla. Special Olympics defunding? How low can you go, Twitter? Are we supposed to believe your normal unverified sources? Is this the great Obama's latest and greatest Russian collusion lie peddler deflector defense? Like the left would have had these kids anyway. Can I get another holla? For some holla. It's me in the car with my perfect son, who's only 5. Just turned 5. He says, are hippies Jewish? They love God, and God is Jewish. I replied, the drummer of the Grateful Dead, Mickey Hart, is Jewish, but it's not a requirement to love God. I don't see babyface Omar rocking a tie-dye hijab in 420 either. I love hearing this yesterday. Special counsel Mueller didn't exonerate the president of obstructing justice. Then why do the echoes of impeaching the motherfucker feel way less hollow today than the DNC's condemnation of hate speech, because that's what they embody? They are truthophobic. Mueller wasn't consulted on the summary of his report by Attorney General William Barr. Who gives a shit? Mueller had 2 years to get pretty familiar with such flimsy source material used for a hack spec script for FX's Americans. Can I get another holla? For some holla. The Mueller report says it does not exonerate Trump because he doesn't want his BFF James Comey and their pals at CNN and MSNBC to pull a plug on their pathetic, meaningless lives this past Sunday, alone with their sheepish followers on Twitter. If the investigation into Clinton's emails had been handled the same way, the outcome of the election would be different. Words like Uranium One, Seth Rich, Benghazi, and Spirit Cooking are more than just bullet points on Hillary's resume resistors. Can I get another holla? For some holla. Mark Cuban. This is Mark Cuban trying to act smarter than Skip Bayless, who I love. Everything you say is general, is Mark Cuban. Everything you say is general. Nobody cares about your opinion. And this is Skip Bayless replying, how about you're a coder nerd? You're another moron who is with her. And you're on my show for a reason, LeBron Liquor. It's a conversation with my wife yesterday at home. Wife says, WordPress is the most popular recruitment platform for terrorists. I reply, is this your way of saying I'm abusing my freedom of speech more than your average jihadi transplant in Minnesota or Michigan? Chair, for the record, was classified as a terrorist organization by the United Arab Emirates. Obama opposed the classification because he would know more than Arab leaders who didn't attend private school in Hawaii. I want my 4 kids. Let me rephrase that. I have 3 kids now. I want 4 kids moving forward so old men stop badgering me when we take a walk in some park on a Sunday. I'm tired of hearing, we had 4, without me asking them in the first place. Well, I only planned 1 as an FU dad baby to get back at my father for implying I live for handouts. Obviously, we have nothing in common, but I appreciate your interest. It's me at home 2 days ago. Wife says, you look sad. And I said, my heart's depressed for turning my anger at cleaning dishes first thing in the morning after cooking for 3 nights in a row inward. It's me at Trader Joe's, female worker. You better eat all that food. And I say, or you'll what? Report me to Jimmy Buffett in Munchieville? Happy Opie and Anthony gave Jim Norton a shot at taking over the show as the real talent. Loved how Patrice, scariest elephant in the room, was a mainstay, but they suffer from major Howard derangement syndrome forever thinking they're in his class. Arliss was a great show, pre-LeBron, before the NBA existed as a safe space to preserve his punctured ego. The season finale of Arliss from 5,000 years ago was great. The gold prospector Ghost declares, I love my work. Robert Wool did too in that show especially. Bravo, Robert Wool. He's not dead, in case you're wondering. Gronk is so pimp. Only Gronk can get away with over-the-top sound bites on Colin Hurd. such as, of course, Giselle's a beautiful supermodel of yesteryear, Colin, but she's still 80 in model years. Relax, Bleacher Report. Brady doesn't get deflated. My retired mom's 24-hour reply policy for texted pics of her 3 grandchildren from me. She needs 24 hours to process her hatred of my father and my younger brother for making it more difficult to visit more and create picture-perfect moments on her own. This is me at the dinner table. Daughter says, Cody, this is her original crush. Daughter says, Cody still draws like he's in kindergarten? My daughter's in 2nd grade now. Mom replies, so does Daddy. That's Mom's dig on my handwriting. And then my daughter says, you're in kindergarten, Daddy. And I laugh. And I say, you're way funnier than Mama. Long time. Reason for my call to Optimum. Sanity connectivity issues because my wife is failing at entertaining my children without cloud assistance. It's me at home this weekend to my wife. So Mueller's got goonish. Do you think Erica is keeping Patrick away from sharp objects? Like Jim Carrey's alter assistant ego who lets him off the hook for driving his ex into a premature grave? I love Jeff Bezos for just making play Kiss on Alexa possible around my 3 kids on nights mommy's working. My Kiss Army was made for loving this do-it-all dad baby. They were made for loving me. Cops found a dead man on the F train in Queens during Friday morning's rush. Dead company excluded. 675 days of investigation, and all Bob Mueller exposed was the New York Times' unflinching commitment to restoring all the subscribers they lost for predicting whom a liquor breath would beat Trump. And you elitist mush-brain mooks took the bait. Barbra Streisand clarifying her Leaving Neverland comments. I feel nothing but sympathy for Michael Jackson's accusers. Would it make you feel better if I called them naive groupies who didn't know what they were getting into? And can we say the same about all of the resistors and baby boomers that decided to take Tom Arnold and Unibrow's word for it? No. It's a Doodle Dad Year podcast what Gen X parents understand. Controlling our kids with comedy can make our kids great again. And I'll talk to you guys soon.